أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Today we will talk about another life form in the Quran. In Surah Al-Ankabut, the spider chapter, verse number 41, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, مثل الذين اتخذوا من دون الله أولياء كمثل العنكبوت اتخذت بيتا وإن أوهن البيوت لبيت العنكبوت لو كانوا يعلمون. Meaning, the example of those who take allies or associates other than Allah is like that of the spider who takes a home, and indeed the weakest of homes is the home of the spider. If they only knew. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a magnificent example in this verse. If we look closely, we would see that this comparison is so precise and eloquent. The word awhan in Arabic means the weakest, not just physically, but also mentally or psychologically. Let's look at the physical weakness in the spider's web. The verse talks about people who acquire idols to worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protectors or supporters and associates other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This verse compares those people to a spider, and it also compares the idols or the associates to a spider's web. Now, every animal has a home or a shelter of some kind. But there is nothing like a spider's web. It is so weak, flimsy, and unreliable. Each house has at least it has a ceiling or maybe walls or an entrance. A house usually protects you from whatever is happening outside, but not the spider's house or spider's home. It doesn't have any of this. It also breaks easily by itself under environment conditions like rain or wind. After all, the web is a house of some sort. The spider builds it to rest on it, to trap insects or other prey, but comparable to other houses, it is extremely weak. So, if you rely on someone or something other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you would be relying on a spider's web. It is worth mentioning here that the spider web in itself is a marvelous piece of creation. The silk is made of sticky liquid which comes out of tiny holes on the spider's abdomen. When this liquid comes in contact with the air, it turns into silk. A spider can make hundreds of meters of this thin thread of silk. That is the obvious weakness in the spider's web. And it is mentioned in Tafsir al-Amthal. In many Islamic articles, this verse has another meaning as well. These articles look into the weakness embedded in the spider's home from a scientific or psychological point of view. A home is strong when there are good ties and connections within the family, where family members find love and stability and take care of each other. Let's take a break. We will be right back. Welcome back. In the verse, the feminine pronoun is used to talk about the spider. كمثل العنكبوت اتخذت بيتا, which means she takes a home. And this is the first miraculous reference, because within the last century it was found that the female spider is the one who is usually responsible for building the web, and she takes care of the eggs and spiderlings when they hatch. Female spiders are generally larger than males. Spiders are cannibals. Many spiders trap other spiders from different species and eat them. In another bizarre behavior, the female spider builds the web, and male spiders get trapped. They get attracted first, or they get attracted to it, to the web. When male spiders approach the female, they do that with extreme caution because it is a very dangerous mission. In many cases, the female kills the potential mates if she is not interested in them. If she does like one of them, they mate, and as soon as they're done, he makes a run for his life because he knows that she looks at him as a tasty meal. So he runs away, leaving her alone to take care of the eggs by herself. In some spider species, the male attacks the female and eats her. There are thousands of spider species, and it is very common for the female spider to kill and eat the male spider in a form of cannibalism. Now, here is another strange twist. When the egg hatches, baby spiders, or the spiderlings, depend on the mother to bring them food and protect them. And when food runs out, the mother feeds her spiderlings unhatched eggs. So the young babies eat their unborn brothers and sisters. When this food source runs out, the spiderlings turn on each other inside the home. So the spider home would turn into a massacre in a cage. In desperation, the final horror scenes is when the mother eats her young to live a little longer. Or, in other cases, the mother gives up and offers herself as a meal for her young. Spiderlings feed on their mother in order to stay alive. So baby spiders learn to be ruthless hunters during the early days of their life. So this chapter, the spider chapter, it starts with a question. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alif Lam Mim. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Meaning, did the people think that they will be left to say, we believe, without being put to the test? Now, so, we need to understand a very important point here. Last time we talked about the bee, and we saw that the Quran mentions the bee in a positive way. And another surah, this surah today that we talked about today, the Quran talks about the spider home in a negative way. Not because the bee is better than the spider. We need to understand that. Bees do what bees do, and a spider does what a spider does. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not hold a spider accountable for what it does, because it is implemented in the spider's nature to set traps and eat other insects. And sometimes they eat each other. Insects act out of natural instinct, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala planted in their DNA. They don't have the intellect that we have. So the lesson in the Quran is not for the animals or insects. The lessons are specially for us. We should not live like spiders, and we should not fall in the traps that someone might set up for us. So, one last thing, the references, the beginning was from Al-Amthal في تفسير كتاب الله المنزل, and the references from National Geographic and from this website. It's www.islamreligion.com. It has very interesting articles. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.